And there she is.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
Hi, my love. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Finally able to connect here with you.
You look gorgeous.
You do too. Thank you. I'm really happy, and I want to thank you for this opportunity, not only to reconnect with you, but also with our followers who have been curious about how everything went after Miss World, how we're doing, and especially being able to share with all of them what we think and our personal experience in order to help others.
Of course,
So
of
I'm
course.
really excited.
I would love to discuss all of that with you. So, as you may know, today was a very busy day for me. I was interviewing uh, a lot of our Miss World sisters.
I saw you since this morning. You look very fresh. I've been able to tune into a couple of your lives, so I'm really happy here seeing you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy too. And for those of you guys who just joined, maybe you don't know. So, of course, as you know, a lot of beautiful, kind-hearted, smart, educated, ambitious girls were there at Miss World, and I was so inspired by them, by their stories, by what they stand for. And I started this little series called Insight for Success, where I interview, for now, Miss World sisters. Going forward, more women who inspire me to share their stories, to share their motivations, to share what keeps them going. And if you missed the ones we did in the morning, I shared them on my page. You can go to the series section, and it's right there. So this is my final one for the day, and I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lena. I'm ready.
Ready for the questions. So my first one
Yes.
for you is, outside of winning your national title, what do you consider to be the biggest win in your life, and what do you think contributed the most to your success?
Well, I feel really happy and blessed with my family and friends. It's a small circle, but all these people are people that have influenced positively in my life, that have supported my dreams. And aside from this, I think also my career, having graduated 2 years ago, and basically all the experiences that I've lived in these past 25 years that have allowed me to gain world experience, connect with other people from other nations, such as a semester abroad I was able to study in Germany.
Oh, wow.
Also, something about me that I think really influenced in my life positively that helped me grow a lot was a summer job I used to have in the US working. I would fly to Alaska every summer and work at a fishing company. And this is something like really curious about me, but I feel this helped me grow a lot and learn a lot about not only Alaska and fish, but about connecting with other cultures, because I was able to work with Muslims, Filipinos, Japanese. It was really enriching.
Wow, that's beautiful to hear. Actually, I took a semester abroad too. I went to France, and like you said,
Oh,
being surrounded by all different cultures and students from all over the world, and just living in Canada, you're already surrounded by everyone, and it's so wonderful to see when people from other countries, other cultures also experience and appreciate diversity. So
yeah,
thank you.
I've actually of going to Canada, but I hear it's one of the countries with most diversity. So hopefully I'm able to visit you sometime soon.
Oh, please do, Arturo, and I would be overjoyed.
I'm sure it's very cold right now.
It is very cold. Yes.
Well, you're really sunny now.
Oh, sorry, you froze. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I was saying Mexico's sunny all year round, but during the nighttime it gets pretty chilly. And I actually have allergies right now because I wasn't used to the cold. In Puerto Rico, the weather was amazing. So the slight change has gotten my defenses a little low.
Oh, I hope you get better soon. For us, it's
Yeah.
really cold. There's like snow and everything outside, but it's a blessing that we got a chance to spend time in Puerto Rico, and even that is incredible by itself.
Goodbye.
Yeah, it really did. Does it feel like to you like it was a month?
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely not. And my family came to support me, and once I saw them, they were like, "Yeah, we didn't see you for a month." Like they were looking at me kind of like looking at me weird. I was like, "Why are you guys looking at me?" Like, we didn't see you for so long. But to me, because it was so intense, it just kind of flew by like 1 second.
And I feel like since we were always so busy and making new friends, we had a big family, like a new family in Puerto Rico. So I did miss my family, but I feel like I didn't have time to really think that I missed them.
Yeah, I miss my family too, and it's a little sad that they came all the way to support me. And for a lot of people, I'm sure they had like restrictions on their budget and how much they could spend, but they still found a way to be there to support their loved ones. But unfortunately, it is what it is. How do you feel about it?
I totally agree with you. I think more like beyond us being tired, or I think we were all prepared to carry out the final any day because we were all looking forward to that. I think what was more difficult for us to acknowledge and accept was that our family had flown to Puerto Rico to support us, and they wanted to see this final show that we had been preparing for them for so long with so much love. But I mean, hopefully they enjoyed their time in Puerto Rico, and for those who came with us in March, that would be amazing. And regardless, we're still going to give them a great show online or wherever they can tune in. Yeah,
absolutely. And you know, when we were rehearsing at the arena, I even was kind of like looking with my eyes because I knew the tickets because I helped them. I helped them purchase them online, so I knew where they would sit. So I was, you know, even when we were doing our little dance, I was like, yeah, once I do this move, how could I be looking towards them? But unfortunately,
I was practicing. I didn't know where they were going to be sitting, but I was imagining like waving at everyone, and then I was like, oh, it sucks that we're not going to be able to do it with everyone there. But I have high hopes for March, and we're going to give them an even more amazing show.
Yeah, and you know, now that I did my live with Emmy, Miss World Dominican Republic, she raised a great point that even though a lot of us feel sad that maybe some of our loved ones would not be able to come again, the most important part is that all the girls can be there together again, because everyone had that dream, and the fact that only some of us and not all of us were able to, you know, take that dream to completion, to be on that stage, was kind of heartbreaking as well, of course.
I think this is a second opportunity for all of us, and hopefully everyone's defenses are high for March, and I think most importantly it's that we're all going to be healthy and able to participate. We've been representing our countries so wonderfully for so long that we deserve this night.
Of course. And everyone deserves to see the wonderful show that we worked so hard to prepare.
Yes, I'm excited. I feel like these 2 months fly by.
Say again?
I feel like these 2 months, previous to Miss World, like going back to Puerto Rico, the time is going to pass by fast.
I'm sure. And I remember how we were speaking just before Miss World, saying how, you know, we're planning our outfits and our Beauty with a Purpose work, and the time, like you said, flew by. But getting back to my questions, question for you is this. So a lot of us, you know, like on social media, we kind of share successes, and a lot of people don't really know what goes behind it, what are some struggles that we faced on our way to our dreams. So if you don't mind sharing, what were some kind of challenges that you had to overcome to become Miss World Mexico, and then to maybe on your journey to Miss World as well?
I think the entire journey for me was a learning experience, because I tell a lot of people I didn't have experience modeling or photography when I started in beauty pageants. So for me, just seeing my teammates and all the other girls looking so beautiful and radiant and not really knowing what to do in front of the camera, for me it was a little intimidating. But later on, I learned to not really take myself so serious, and appreciating and embracing making mistakes. I think this is something that really helped me. Sorry. That's something that really helped me during the journey, because I knew that I wasn't going to be perfect at everything, and the important thing was always to try, because in these errors and also approving, I was going to learn from everything. So I think this was something that I had to work with. More inner, you know, that inner voice. That's something, you know, you might make a mistake, you might not do so well. I think it's really working with that, and just embracing the unknown and taking risk. I think that when I learned to be okay with not being perfect and learning from everything, that really helped me advance in achieving my dreams. Leaving fear behind. I really love this phrase that is live fearlessly. Because I think fear sometimes stops us from being our best self, our bravest self. And this is something I would also tell other people, is it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay not to have the path clear to where you want to go, but knowing what you want. And when you have this motivation, everything else is going to be pretty easy, and you're always going to be motivated, and there's not going to be like an excuse to stop you.
Absolutely. I love this, and thank you so much for sharing, because, you know, a lot of people look up to...
These are really great questions that get you thinking, and I feel like questions that can help so many other people, because we all have different goals and different things we want to achieve. And that inner voice, like I said, that there's always that doubt. But I feel that it's time, this 2022, to silence that little voice and go for everything.
Absolutely. And it's very interesting because when I prepared these questions, I thought girls would say, maybe social media, people were kind of hurting them and saying negative comments, or maybe, again, like maybe financial struggle to achieve your goal. But a lot of the girls were saying how it's the internal voice, and I can relate to that so much. And I was sharing before how, for me, that little voice that kind of says, imagines the worst possible scenario. For example, as you can relate, there was 1,000 bags and things to pack. And as I was packing, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what if I put all of my dresses in one suitcase and that suitcase gets lost?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? And of course, also thoughts of self-doubt and sometimes comparing yourself to others. So it's really important to acknowledge that. Next question for you. Are there any books or podcasts that you feel really inspired by, or something that kind of you want to share with the world that everyone can benefit from?
Yes, well, I love reading books about law of attraction, and one of the authors is Florence Scovel Shinn. I haven't read her books in a couple of years, but she has great books, and the way she writes every book, it's really easy to understand. Some of the recent books I've read, one is by Brené Brown, Dairy Lee, and just like the title, it's a great book, and it really just talks about how it's not really important if you're scared, if you don't have experience, and it's okay to feel vulnerable. The most important thing is showing up, saying it's okay, I'm here, I'm not perfect, and I'm scared, but I'm here. It's showing up for yourself and saying, I'm here, I'm ready to go. And despite all the odds, it's really being brave. And I really like this book. What else? Podcast. While I go on YouTube, I love watching TED Talks. I think they're really inspiring. Watching all these success stories and people continuously talking about how they've had failure during their lifetime, but despite all of this, it's been a learning experience and they've been able to achieve high success. I think that's really inspiring. And what else? For my Spanish speakers, there's also a spiritual teacher named Tania Karam, and her voice is super sweet and her videos are like really inspiring. So I would invite people to listen to that. And what else? I would say something that really inspires me is going out in nature and just really connecting with myself, listening to some good music on Spotify. Wow. Those are some ideas that come to me.
Thank you so much for sharing. And just today I went on a walk and I was listening to, and I'm sure a lot of people know, Steve Jobs' famous speech at the commencement. I think it was at Stanford, where he shared like all the failures that he had, how he was fired from the company that he started, how he had to drop out of school, and how when he looks back, he can connect all the dots and see how every single challenge and every single obstacle and every failure led to something so beautiful. But of course, in the moment, it seems like the end of the world.
And now that you mentioned that, I'm going to look up a title, but it's a book that gives examples of people who've been very successful in their life, but reach success after their 40s, their 50s, even their 70s. And that's something very important for us, the youth, because sometimes we feel pressured seeing how some 18-year-olds or influencers are super successful. They're millionaires by 18 and have their own houses and big companies. And like you said, when you fall into this comparison, you think of yourself like, oh, what am I doing? Like, this is nothing compared to somebody else. But this is also inspiring and saying, just really teaching us that we all have our own timing and our own process and our unique life. And we should always just compare ourselves to the Karolina and the Lana from yesterday.
Exactly. I love that so much. And especially, because we're so young, and something that I also kind of discussed with the girls today, we still have hopefully so many years ahead of us, and some things that really upset us today, maybe something that in 5-10 years we would never even remember what it was, but right now it could seem like a whole big deal. And it's beautiful to keep my things in perspective. So lastly, my question for you is there like a little routine or maybe like a small ritual that you do before an interview or before like a stressful situation when you want to really put your best foot forward? Is there something that you do?
Yes. Well, I heard jumping makes you really happy. So there's times, and I'm so energetic. So there's times where I have so much energy. I just start jumping around and doing breathing exercises to kind of calm me down, especially because I'm a super fast speaker. So these are things that just really help me get into the mode, maybe listening to some music, praying. And also, I'd like to tell people that you have to be your number one cheerleader. Because when there's that little voice maybe saying something like, oh, I might mess up, then you have to be like, no, you're great. You're amazing. You're going to do perfect. You're going to have the right words in the right moment. I think this is something that helps me get really motivated and just vibing high.
Well, I don't think you're a fast speaker at all. I think you're great. But something that you guys should know about Karolina is that when she started running, I was like, oh my gosh, this girl, all of us here, and she's already like finishing the whole race.
I didn't expect to run that fast. I was just concentrated and hoping I was going to run, at the pace of one. But suddenly I got like a boost. I don't know. Everyone makes fun of me and they're like, oh, you had like a turbo because suddenly you pressed a turbo and you started going super fast. And I saw the videos and there's a part when I just felt so motivated. And like I said, I was my number one cheerleader in that moment. And I remember in my mind, I was like, oh my God, I'm tired. And then I was like, no, go, come on, you're fast, you're turbo, let's go, let's go, let's go. In my mind, I was just telling myself, go, 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 go. And it worked, fortunately.
Well, I was telling myself, go, go too, but I was not nearly as fast.
I know. Oh, and I had a protein bar that day. So I had energy. I eat a lot of snacks. I don't know if you noticed, but I was always carrying some chocolates and snacks because sometimes you need that little extra energy boost.
Oh my gosh. When we're there in March, I'll come to you for some stuff.
Great and everything. And something that I'll never forget is your speech for Thanksgiving. I think it touched all of our hearts. And I was like, oh, that's my friend Lana. You made us laugh, but also you really touched our hearts.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's so kind of you to say that. I remember how like you came up to me and you were just so encouraging. And I really want people to know how even though sometimes people may think, oh, like this world is so competitive and we're all kind of like only looking after ourselves. It was so wonderful to have so much support from you, from other girls, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Oh, you don't have to thank me. That's what we're for. And at the end of the day, I think we help each other and we learn from each other, which is something so valuable.
And actually, a little story that I want to share. So sorry, I know you have to go soon. We'll wrap up shortly, but just wanted to share that before the final night, when we thought it was the night before, we had limited time to get ready, and suddenly we thought this was it. This was the final night, and all of us just like suddenly, of course, we had like a little bit of nervousness and anxiety. How is it gonna go? Am I feeling ready enough? Am I looking ready enough? And Karolina helped me to do, makeup touch-ups, and in the moment, it was just like so overwhelming and nerve-wracking. And then I looked at Karolina, and in her costume, she had this like beautiful embroidery of like religious figures, and it was like, wow. And we kind of like held hands for a second and shared like, a moment of bliss. And that was very special.
Yeah, I remember you calling me, and honestly, I didn't know what was happening because I heard you like whispering through the phone, and I was like, oh, Anna's okay. And then you were like, oh, can you help me? And I was like, oh, of course. But I was like, I didn't know what to expect. And I remember we just hold hands and looked at the Virgin of Guadalupe that was on my typical costume. And we were almost about to pray there. I think that carrying that outfit really gave me peace because it was a moment of a lot of anxiety and ambiguity for all of us. And I was just like, whew. Okay, let's do this. That was a night we're never going to forget because honestly, I thought it was the final night. Mm-hmm. And it was we were pressured by time. So I think we were all just in a rush and a little anxious, but it all worked out.
Yeah. And to be able to relive that again in March, like I was thinking to myself, ever in the history of Miss World got to compete at Miss World twice? But we have this luxury and incredible experience waiting for us in the future. So that's very special.
I think it's because we got back home for Christmas, for New Year's. We can have a little break, not too long. I think 3 months was just perfect timing. And the fact that we were able to step on that stage and have that feeling of what it's going to be like in March, I think that takes a little bit of that nervousness away from us. And what we felt we could have done better in our presentation, I think we're going to do it now. So I think it was that it got postponed in a way.
Exactly. And also I think to regain our strength a little bit, because for a lot of us, we were just so like busy and overwhelmed and trying to prepare. And now the sports are done, top model presentations are done, a lot of things that talents are done, a lot of things that kind of like require a lot of immediate attention are out of the way, and we can just focus on the most important things that are our charitable projects, the way we present ourselves, the way we present our nations. And I think that's what is really important right now.
For sure. I believe the best is yet to come. And I think it's incredible that in the meantime we can connect like this through Instagram lives with our fans. And hopefully everybody who listens to us right now or has the opportunity of seeing these videos later in a way can relate to us, and just know that even though we are very prepared women and we're representing our countries, we're also human, and we're also going through the same things that they are, or even our minds may also trick us the way theirs do, but it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And for everyone here watching from Mexico, I see a lot of you guys are supporting Karolina. I wanted to say that you guys have a wonderful representative, and you should be so proud and so supportive of her, because I saw it from inside that she was doing everything to represent you guys the best way that she possibly could.
Oh, thank you, Lana. You're super sweet. And I was talking to Arthur the other day. I was like, I was like, Lana, I said it to him, I said it to you, and I say it to everyone. You have such a big heart, and I'm really blessed and thankful of your friendship that I know is going to go far beyond this time at Miss World. So thank you so much. And to everyone, well, before I go, I just want to wish you all a happy new year. I hope that this new year has lots of exciting moments for all of you, filled with joy, love, new intentions, and higher hopes.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words. And I want to join you in wishing everyone Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hope everyone has a peaceful and blissful time with their loved ones. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karolina. Hope you have a good evening.
I send you all the way to Canada.
Thank you so much, my love. Have a good night. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.